What is up everybody, it's Sean here and I am back today to give you guys a review of the Virgil Abloh Archive Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG in this Alaska colorway. Since today's video is covering a potential grail, I want to introduce you guys to a product called Capsule. Today's video is sponsored by Capsule and they're a sneaker preservation system which looks just like this. So this is where you store your shoes inside. And not only is this UV protected and airtight, but the secret sauce comes in the form of a cartridge which contains a specially formulated gas that you inject into this pod, and that not only pushes out any bad air in here containing oxygen or dirt, but it pushes in that gas, that preservative, which represents the ideal state to keep your shoes stored in. So this tackles the two main reasons why your shoes fade, age, and potentially crumble over time, which is hydrolysis and oxidization. And by keeping it in this system, it allows you to wear those grail type sneakers further out into the future without having to worry that they're gonna crumble under your feet. So this, in my opinion, is best used for those really rare sneakers, the ones that you wear maybe once or twice a year, and then the rest of the time they're just sitting on a shelf in a shoebox. So check out their website, which I've linked down below in the description box. There's a ton of research and science behind this product, so do your own digging, do your own reading, make sure you're comfortable first before you take the dive into it. But if you do decide to check them out, tell them that you heard about them through this channel. So this right here is one of the most anticipated sneakers of the year, and this is not the off-white Air Jordan 1. This is officially a collaboration with the Virgil Abloh Archive, which represents 20,000 archived pieces from his personal collection of art and design in collaboration with Jordan Brand. So this is very similar to the European exclusive colorway of the off-white Jordan 1s that first dropped back in 2018. But this pair released on April 3rd, 2026 for a price of $230 US, and funny enough, it was only 245 Canadian dollars, so that was a strange conversion. It was actually a lot more advantageous for us Canadians to buy these locally. It ended up being a lot cheaper. The official colorway for this shoe is just white on white, but the nickname of the shoe is Alaska. And given the white and cool tones of this shoe, it makes sense why it's given that nickname. So first things first, here's a quick look at the box. So this is a very sturdy, very heavy duty cardboard box. It looks similar to a typical Jordan 1 box where we have a black base with red colored Nike branding on it, but we have these holes on the different sides of the box which show off the interior or what's inside. And the box opens up like so with a flap on the side. So inside the box, they actually give us a sketchbook or a reproduction of the sketchbook of Virgil Abloh's work. So this is a really personal, really rare insight into the mind of one of the greatest designers of our generation. And then below that, the shoes are shelved inside this plastic inner box, which looks like this, and has this plastic layer which protects the shoes and gives it an additional layer of coverage. So jumping into the details of the shoe itself, as we start things off on the toe box, this is covered in an icy blue colored mesh, and we have these perforations on the toe box like a normal Jordan 1 would. However, overlaid on the sides of the toe box, we have these fuse overlays which gives it a little bit more durability and almost looks like clear tape. Overlaid on the front toe cap, we have two layers of white colored genuine leather. So this leather is a genuine leather, as you can see from the sides. You can see those natural leather grains and fibers, but there's a top coating which gives it a little bit more of a plasticky and a little bit of a synthetic feel to the touch. But like I mentioned, there are two layers of leather here as visible from the sides. Moving downwards, the bottom three eyelets is covered in this additional flap of leather. This is a staple when it comes to the Virgil Abloh Jordan 1s. But then underneath this, the remaining eyelets is covered in another layer of white colored leather. Underneath this, on the mid panel, we have more of that icy blue colored mesh. We have another fuse layer running down diagonally on the center. And then stitched on top of this, we have this oversized white colored Nike swoosh. This is partially disconnected from the body of the shoe, but is held on using this blue colored stitching on both the front and the back. And then underneath this, we have that iconic orange tab, which is stitched onto the body of the shoe. Underneath this, we have this beige colored suede, and this wraps around the lateral side of the heel. Above this, the side flaps of the Jordan 1, this is again disconnected. We have an Air Jordan Wings logo debossed onto the center, but then if you remove the flap to the side, you can see we have the numbers 85 in quotation marks pressed onto the inside, and then underneath this, the upper portion of the shoe, this is covered in more of that icy blue colored mesh. On the medial side, instead of a swoosh here, we have the words Virgil Abloh Archive for Nike instead of Off-White, but it still incorporates the words Air Jordan 1, Beaverton, Oregon, USA, circa 1985, representing the year the Jordan 1 was first debuted. And then if you look closely, we have a perforated swoosh, which is outlined onto the leather panel itself. In the middle of the heel, we have a rectangular overlay of leather, and then on the bottom of the heel cup here is painted in white paint, but beneath this there is an internal heel cup, which gives the shoe more structure and support along the backside of the sneaker. Hanging off the shoe, as usual, it comes with a zip tie. This is done in this icy blue color. But again, instead of Off-White branding, here we have VAA branding, referencing the current collaborator, which again is not Off-White. As far as the laces go, this pair comes with 4 different lace options. The standard lace that they come with is a flat style white lace, and as usual, they come with branded lace tips with the words shoelaces. If you're not feeling these laces, they also come with an icy blue colored lace, a black lace, and a purple colored lace. All 3 are really solid options, and there's really no right or wrong answer as far as what color lace you want to put on your shoe. Underneath this, the tongue is covered in this icy blue colored nylon. This is like your typical Jordan 1 tongue. However, the tag that's normally found on the Jordan 1, this is stitched onto the lateral side and is done in this neon orange color with Nike Air branding on it. And then as usual, the edges of the tongue are left unfinished, revealing that foam layer within, along with the inner collar of the shoe. This is also left unfinished, giving it more of a raw, DIY aesthetic. And then the interior of the inner collar of the shoe, this is covered in a mesh layer too. For the insoles, these come with a pretty well padded foam lined insole. It has this textured finish along the forefoot area, along with Nike Air branding visible on the heel in black. So the upper of the Jordan 1 sits atop this rubber cupsole, which is painted in this slightly vintage looking off-white color, and encased within this shoe, we have Nike Air technology not visible to the eye, but that explains why we have the words Air printed on in quotation marks on the lateral heel. And then for the bottom of the shoe, here we have your standard Jordan 1 outsole. This is all done in this white colored rubber. We have that circular pivot point on the forefoot along with Nike branding visible right in the center. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this shoe. And for those wondering about how these fit, to me these fit like a normal Off-White or normal Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG. So I personally went true to size and it fits me fine. I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I got these in a size 10 and they fit me very comfortably, not too snug, not too loose. So whatever size you normally wear for Jordan 1 highs, I'd stick with that same size for this pair, not your Jordan 1 85 size, because those do run different than a Jordan 1 High OG. But if in doubt, go to a store, try on a normal Jordan 1 High OG, that's specifically the Jordan 1 High OG, just to get a sense of how they would fit your feet, and that's probably the same size I would get for this specific shoe. Moving on to the comfort, so these feel pretty much identical to any Jordan 1 High, so it's gonna feel pretty flat, pretty firm, and pretty low to the ground. There's not too much from a softness standpoint. I'm sure you guys probably know how Jordan 1s feel by now. They're not going to be amazingly comfortable, but for a casual use shoe, it's going to give you a lot of stability, and it's pretty much your run-of-the-mill mid-80s sort of feel underfoot, which some people really love and some people also don't love. It all comes down to your personal preference. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so first off, the material quality I thought was okay. They do utilize genuine leathers on this shoe, which is good. But like I mentioned from the start, there is like a coating on the top of it, which gives it a little bit more of a stiff and plastic-like feel. So when you run your fingers across this leather, you're not gonna see those natural indentations of the leather. It feels a lot stiffer than that. That's not necessarily an indication that it's a bad quality leather, but there is just a coating on the top of it, which makes it feel a little bit more stiff than I personally would have liked. But aside from that though, I thought the suedes of the shoe were decent and the material variety I thought was solid too. But in terms of the overall build quality, I thought my pair was pretty solid. There were no major issues that I could see. The stitch job was good, the panels were consistent between my left and right feet. So I was very happy to see that even though the materials weren't the best of the best, the overall construction of the shoe, it did feel very solid. And just holding these in hand, it feels like the factory that put the shoe together did a pretty solid job and took care in piecing this all together. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up, and I'll show you guys how these look. Personally, I'm in the camp that's very excited to see Nike bring back an iconic shoe like this. I know some people like to, I hate saying that word, but gatekeep sneakers, thinking that certain grails should just stay grails forever. But I think this is a good way to kind of re-release a grail sneaker like this by giving us a twist by incorporating Virgil Abloh Archive instead of off-white branding. And the overall feel of the shoe just feels a little bit more cleaned up, a little bit more refined, less raw than the original Euro pair from 2018. But 99% of the shoe pretty much looks identical to the originals. Especially if you're rocking these, no one's really gonna notice that it's different, aside from the fact that it's just so icy blue right now. But give it a few years and these will definitely be turning yellow. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this Virgil Abloh Archive Air Jordan 1 Alaska? What are your thoughts on Nike re-releasing iconic grail sneakers? Do you think they should kind of stay in the vault forever? Do you think they should re-release them but give it a bit of a twist? Or are you happy for Nike to flood the market and bring back all the grails all the time? Leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'll link my social media accounts down below for you guys to check out and follow. And another huge shout out to Capsule for sponsoring today's video. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully it helped you in some way, and I'll catch you all in my next video.